Hey there, everyone. It's Andrew. I just want to do a quick review of the book Journey to the Center of the Earth by Jules Verne. I finished this book last night, and so it's fresh on my mind, and I want to kind of go through the book and give you an idea of what my thoughts were, and kind of, if you're interested in it, like, give you a general idea. I'll try not to spoil anything too much, just because that's really unfair to you. But this is the Barnes & Noble Classics edition. I picked it up at Barnes & Noble really on the fly quickly. I got it for $7.95. It's really cheap. In general, I like these books a lot because it's something that you can go to the store and purchase and you don't feel bad about not buying it online. A lot of books, if you are full price there in general, from my experience. And if you go there and you buy that and they're way cheaper online, you kind of feel bad and feel like you spend too much money. But these in general, I've got a bunch of them and I like the fact that you can buy it and it's cheap. Now, as far as the topic of the book, I'm not going to be comprehensive as far as a synopsis and things like that, but it's in general about Professor Lidenbrock as well as his nephew Axel. And the professor is a geologist. He's like a naturalist. This is around the turn of the 18th to 19th century, where it's probably around like 1890s. Where they're exploring the earth and kind of going through learning about it, and it hasn't really been fully developed to our knowledge in the modern era as we know it. And so what he comes across is this book with a scroll or cryptogram in it that kind of gives instructions on how to get to the center of the earth. And so they have to decrypt it and find out what the message is and then where that location is on the earth. I'm not going to spoil too much, but it's located in Iceland. And so they end up going up to Iceland, meeting up with a guide named Hans. And he kind of gets brought into this journey as a paid assistant, but he gets drawn into it as well. I like the first part of the book is really about the adventure of them, or the journey from going where they are to Iceland. And the nice part about it is this is a time period when we didn't have cars, didn't have airplanes and things like that. So they really walk through the steps of like trains, boats, and the time frame it takes to get there. And so that's one aspect of it. Then once they get there, they find the location of it and kind of go underground and go through the adventure related to that. I won't spoil too much, but it is really about just going into the ground, seeing what they see, and kind of the adventure with that. It's not all caves and like molten lava as they would expect, and they walk through kind of that journey. I don't want to spoil it beyond that, but it definitely is not like the Hollywood edition of the movie that you may have seen in the past. It's not hyped up as that. It's really just a book, and it's very simple in what you expect for this type of adventure. It's not all special effects and adventure, or special effects and I guess high definition adventure kind of thing. So in general, I thought the book was pretty good. I wouldn't say it's great. It's something that if you haven't read it, definitely read it, because you'll get an idea about the topic and that book in general, because it's a classic. So it's definitely worth reading. But I didn't think it was amazing. It wasn't as vivid as I would think. The imagery in my mind that I developed wasn't that great, and it wasn't as hyped up, as far as not that much happened while you were reading it. So it's kind of dull at some points, nothing really happens, but it is a good book for an introduction to the Jules Verne. I never read Jules Verne before, and he really comments on kind of fathoms, leagues, distances like that, a lot of scientific instruments to measure that, and they relate that to where they're located on the earth itself, on the surface. And it really kind of probably is a good introduction to 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. I haven't read that yet, but I'll probably read that next, because I can kind of see a very similar type of writing or pace for that, and that's kind of going underwater from what my understanding is, and seeing what creatures they come across. So if you're interested in the book, definitely pick it up. It's not something you'll regret as far as reading it. It's a really quick read. I think it's about like 230 pages, so you can read it in a day. Some people faster than that, depending on how fast you read. But it's worthwhile if you want to go into it. So thanks for listening. If you have any questions or comments, just comment, and I'll try to answer them if I can. Thanks.